Well, you bring up a very good point because Baylor, University of Texas, and all the other great schools here in Texas, I've gone against them in depositions, in court, in trial, and I can say that the best and the brightest always took those advocacy courses.
I believe that, and that's true. University of Houston, St. Mary's, they all have fine students, especially if they went to the advocacy training program. I've been asked by federal judges, like a South Texas alum, Janice Jack, who's a federal judge in Corpus Christi.
Excellent judge.
She asked me, what makes us, what is it about a South Texas advocate? And it's everybody at any law school who takes the time out to spend this much time in preparation for competition. You learn so much evidence, you learn so much procedure, you learn legal analysis, but most important, you learn about your own heart. And you learn how to handle those things when they don't go right. You know, despite whoever you are, if you're a lawyer, you're going to lose some cases. The question as a teacher, how do you handle that? How do you handle losing? Because if you're going to be a litigator, you're going to lose some cases. It's just not possible unless you try one case and win it, or unless you're just lying, you're going to lose cases. Right. And so I think that it's the entire experiment that shows people who come to law school, they don't really know what they want to do in the law. Some people can't help but want to get in that courtroom. And that's what schools like South Texas and Baylor's advocacy program and UT Advocacy and some other really good advocacy programs do. And Texas advocacy across the state of Texas, as a rule, is the best advocacy anywhere.
I believe that, and you know, we've seen it firsthand. And not only that, not only did you have the winning teams time and time again, and we're going to get to that formula in a minute, and I'm going to try to break the matrix code, but I know you've got to keep some, I know you've got to keep some secrets there. But what I would say is you gave everybody a chance too. It just wasn't your teams. It was any law student around here when I was here could compete in the intramurals.
They still
get
can.
in there, and they get in there and they advocate, and every single one of us had the opportunity to talk to real lawyers, real judges, advocate for our client, put on evidence, and that's the kind of thing that I'm trying to underline here on this program. It's not just the 100 victories, it's the formula behind it. It's the foundation of what has made everything great about South Texas College of Law and the advocacy system. Many people out there just watch Law and Order, and I wish it was that simple, Dean.
I wish it was that quick.
Right, 1 hour. You know, that's why I tell them when I pick a jury, how many of y'all watch Law and Order? Because I want to know which ones are interested in the legal system. And unfortunately, it is not that quick. And as the Dean's pointed out, you do lose sometimes. That the stakes are high, and people's freedom and people's property are at stake. So let's go back to that a little bit. I want to zoom in a little bit and really showcase what has gone on that magic formula that we've had at South Texas College of Law, because I think all of us have shared in it that have gone here.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah, let's go back.
Well, you know, it's a very good point, because at South Texas, we have a rule of inclusion, not exclusion. We want every student here to taste the advocacy experience, because it may be the drink that you're looking for. It could be that thing that you find that satisfies you. But even if it's not, you as a lawyer are going to be better rounded by doing the advocacy experiment. Now, the advocacy experience, as has been discussed, is one where you get involved in a classroom setting, but the classroom setting is just the preface. The actual activity is you compete against other people in putting on cases, in going through the rules of evidence and procedure, the legal analysis of a case. You actually do the same things that lawyers do. The difference, many lawyers just don't have as much time for preparation as law students do. And I think here at South Texas, and like the really good advocacy programs throughout the Southwest, they all look for ways to include people at the intramural level. The intramural level, if you win our intramural competitions like the Judge Spurgeon Bell competition or the Leroy Jeffers competition, that means a lot. But that from that early training, we pick the people that move to the next level who can represent South Texas College of Law against the good advocacy powers from across the country, be it University of California at Hastings, University of California at Los Angeles, be it the very good programs in New York like Fordham University and New York University. And throughout the country, you have various schools that are very, very good. Syracuse in New York is very good. Florida State University. And like I said, I would just as soon play anybody than play 4 or 5 of the teams within 500 miles of this building, because the schools in Texas are really good at advocacy.
Well, and as you see behind me, and we've got shots when we were out early on, right here on 1300 block of San Jacinto, right here in Houston, Texas, or San Jacinto, where I'm from. What we're talking about here is that formula. And another thing is, a lot of people really need to appreciate what lawyers really do. And I think the media and court TV and stuff has kind of blurred that out. The media, and when clients come in, they have different expectations of the system. And like they said, Law and Order, they think everything's going to finish in about an hour. It's going to take a few years. And let's not forget appeals.
It takes an hour to do the pretrial.
That's right. and you know, when you were saying you build a foundation, excellent professors like Byron P. Davis, you know, you'd walk into his classroom. If you were late, you'd sit at the front and get punished for it. Well,
and recite all class law.
And stand up. And you know what? Guess what? You walk into a courtroom, that's what happens. And everybody'd say, he's so mean. I loved it, because I said, you know what? He's prepared me to go in front of a judge, and if and you taught us to stand. You said you stand no matter what, you know. And you can always tell the poorly trained lawyer, hard to say it, if they don't stand every time they talk, or they're, you know, those kinds of things. The nuances are the things that help your clients. And so with that backdrop, we were talking about your first team, and through the years, I just want to kind of panoramic sort of view of all the victories, all that. What sticks most
well,
in
it's
your mind?
such a great question, but it's so hard to answer.
Objection, I guess, too general, vague.
Global response?
Global response, I guess, but let's
I will answer that, though,
piecemeal.
because each of the teams is special. You know, as a law professor for over 35 years now, I have seen literally young people come to law school who were shy, who didn't know what they wanted to do, and I have seen them find in legal training the thing that they want to do. And all the teams, from our first winning team when we won the National ATLA Mock Trial Championship with Judge Lamar McCorkle, who's a judge here in this town, and Joe Bailey, who's one of the top defense lawyers in this city, all the way to last month when we won the National Tort Law competition at the University of Cincinnati with 3 young ladies who are third-year students. The common denominator with all these teams is these are young people who want to learn, who will give it 100%, but more importantly, who understand this isn't a vocation, it's a profession. It's an honored profession, because in every contest, the way you conduct yourself in representing your client is as important as any other thing, because there will be someone who loses. You cannot control the facts, and you can't control the law in a case, but you can control your ethical duty to do the best you can to help this client under the law. Because as all these teams know, our law is not self-executing. Just because the laws are in the books and they're written down, unless you have a lawyer or a law-trained person to advise you and help you, then that person is deaf and dumb when it comes to the law. The lawyer, the person with legal knowledge, can help that person, bridge them to their rights, to their access in the system. If an individual in our country is charged with a crime, it's one of the scariest things that can happen. Once the police come and take you to the jail and bond is set, a strange thing starts happening, because the entire weight of the government is then directed against that citizen accused. You have the judge who's a government employee, you have the district attorney and the DA staff that are government employees. What does the defendant have? It has a lawyer. And that lawyer is the thing that stands between loss of liberty and property and this client. And that's what I mean. The things that's been instilled in all these teams is that the law is not self-executing. You have to know the law, or you have to have access to legal services. And one of the things that we've been working on diligently is to expand the number of legal clinics throughout Texas, because the lack of access that people have to lawyers is getting broader every day. How many of you people even know a lawyer? How many people have access to lawyers on things as simple as administrative appeals for Social Security denials, for divorce, for landlord-tenant problems? You see, you're all hedging around in the gray area because you don't have people that you can count on who are legally trained.